Hello students, today I am going to teach the topic open source tools for Saas, that is software as a service. Let's proceed with this open source tools. As open source tools providing a great support in this cloud technology, as it provides support for different platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Like this, it is providing support for software as a service. Software as a service is a software distribution model in which the application are hosted by a vendor or service provider and made available to customers over a network, typically the internet. Software as a service is becoming an increasingly prevalent delivery model as underlying technologies that support web services and mature service oriented architecture, that is a SOA, and new developmental approaches such as Ajax, which is become more popular. There are different software, that is open source tools for software as a service. Let's have discuss all these things. From that, one of the open source tool as a Apache VCL. Here VCL stand for Virtual Computing Lab. Apache VCL is an open source solution for the remote access over the internet to dynamically provision and reserve computational resources for diverse applications, acting as software as a solution. As VCL has a simple architecture with four main components, and that four main components are web portal, database, management node, and compute node. Let's discuss about this component which is a part of VCL. As the first component is a web server. Web server represents the VCL portal and uses Linux or Apache or PHP solution. This portal provides a user interface that enable the requesting and management of VCL resources. There is a second component, that is database server. This stores information about VCL reservations, access controls, and machine with environment inventory. It also uses Linux or SQL solution. Then there is third component of this Apache VCL, that is management node. This is processing engine. A management node controls a subset of VCL resources, which may be physical blade servers, traditional rack, or virtual machines. It uses Linux or VCLD, that is Perl Images Library solution. So VCLD is a middleware responsible to process reservations or jobs assigned by the VCL, that is Virtual Computing Lab web portal. According to the type of environment requested, VCLD should assure that service, that is computational environment, will be available to user. Then let's talk about last component, that is compute nodes, which is a part of Apache VCL. These compute nodes include physical servers, virtual machines, computing lab machines, as well as cloud compute resource. A conceptual overview of Apache VCL, which consists of remote user connect to the VCL scheduling application and request access to a desired application environment. The application environment consists of an operating system and suite of applications. The computer types are machine room blade servers, VMware's virtual machine, and standalone machines. So this is all about the one of the open source tools for software as a service, that is Apache VCL. Let's talk about another open source tools for software as a service, that is Google Drive and Google Docs. Most of the users are familiar with Google Drive as well as Google Docs. Google Drive is a file storage and synchronization service provided by Google that enables user cloud storage, file sharing, collaborative editing. File shared publicly on a Google Drive can be searched with web search engine, as Google Drive lets the user store and access file anywhere on the web, on the hard drive, or on the go. It works in a different ways, like an if you want to store data on a Google Drive, just go to Google Drive on the web at a drive.google.com. Another way, install Google Drive on the computer or mobile device, that is your smartphones, and you can use it for the cloud storage. Also, Google Drive store file in the Google Drive container. It is available on the device from which it is accessed. After this, user will able to access files from anywhere, so he or she wants to access the data on the Google Drive. If a file is changed on the web by using computer or mobile device, it is updated on every device where Google Drive is installed. This is about Google Drive. Let's talk about the Google Docs. Here also, most of the users are familiar with these open source tools which act as a software as a service. Another software as a service offering by Google is Google Docs. It is one of the many cloud computing document sharing services. The majority of document sharing services require user fees, whereas Google Docs is a free. Its popularity among businesses is growing due to its enhanced sharing features and accessibility. In addition, Google Docs has enjoyed a rapid rise in popularity among students and educational institutions. Google Cloud Connect is a plugin for Microsoft Office 2003, 2007, and 2010 on Windows that can automatically store and synchronize any Microsoft Word document, PowerPoint presentation, or Excel spreadsheet to Google Docs in a Google or Microsoft Office format. The Google Doc copy is automatically updated each time the Microsoft Office document is saved. Microsoft Office documents can be edited offline and synchronized later when online. Google Cloud Synchronize maintain previous Microsoft Office document versions and allows multiple users to collaborate by working on the same document at the same time. Also, Google Spreadsheets and Google Sites incorporate Google Apps script to write code within documents in a similar way to Visual Basic for applications, that is a VBA in Microsoft Office. The scripts can be activated either by user action or by a trigger in response to an event. Google Forms and Google Drawings have been added to the Google Docs suite. Google Forms is a tool that allows users to collect information via a personalized survey or a quiz. The information is then collected and automatically connected to a spreadsheet with the same name. The spreadsheet is populated with the survey and quiz responses. Google Drawings allows user to collaborate creating, sharing and editing images or drawings. Google Drawings contains a subset of features in Google Presentation that you also called as a Google Slides, but with different templates. So this is all about open source tools which act as a software as a service in terms of Google Drive and Google Docs. Let's have another tool as a open source tool for software as a service, that is a Dropbox. So Dropbox is a file hosting service operated by Dropbox Incorporation that offers cloud storage, file synchronization and client software. Dropbox allows users to create a special folder on each of their computers, which Dropbox then synchronizes so that it appears to be the same folder, that is with the same contents, regardless of which computer is used to view it. Files placed in this folder also are accessible through a website and mobile phone applications. With this, Dropbox provides client software for Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, iOS, BlackBerry operating system, and web browser, as well as unofficial ports to Symbian, Windows Phone, and MeGo. Both the Dropbox server and desktop client software are primarily written in Python. The desktop client uses GUI toolkits such as WX Widgets and Cocoa. Other notable Python libraries include Twisted, C-Types, and Pywin32. Dropbox ships and depends on the library Singh's binary delta library, which is written in a C programming. The Dropbox client enables users to drop any file into a designated folder that is then synchronized with Dropbox internet service and to any other of the user's computers and devices with the Dropbox client. Users may also upload files manually through a web browser. A Dropbox client supports synchronization and sharing along with personal storage. It supports revision history or so files deleted from Dropbox folders may be recovered from any of the synchronized computers. Dropbox also supports multi-user version control, enabling several users to edit and repost files without overwriting versions. The version history is by default kept for 30 days with an unlimited version called Pack Rat available for purchases. Dropbox also provides a technology called LAN synchronize, which allows computers on the local area network to securely download files locally from each other instead of always hitting a central services. The main thing about this different open source tools, whether it's in Google Docs, Google Drive, or a Dropbox, you can also configure these tools within your gadget, whether it's an computer, laptop, smartphones, or tablets, or any other, where internet connectivity is there. There are lot of advantages if you configure their interface within your different computer or smartphone. If you want to upload any file within your Dropbox storage or Google Cloud storage, simply you need to select the file which you want to upload on a Dropbox or a Google Drive, and you need to add that interface. So that interface nowadays available with number of gadget as a pre-installed feature. If you don't want to use that gadget API or user interface, simply you can go on their respective web portal and you can upload your file. The main thing is that as an open source, it's providing some limited amount of space. As all of you know, Google is also providing 15 GB of space as for a free user, and if you are increasing their space, definitely it will charge you as per their plan. But thing is that both are more secure in terms of the data security on a cloud. There is a one more thing which I would like to add in this Dropbox. That is what there are number of hosting sites or host provider where you want to launch your website. So simply whatever web pages designed by you or a programmer or a developer, they can upload their web pages on that web hosting where they selected a specific plan. Also, there are number of web hosting who are amalgam with a Dropbox where you can only upload your developed web pages on the Dropbox account which you have, and you can give path of the Dropbox for that web hosting, so that it will detect the files from that Dropbox and it will consider for uploading as a web source or web page. So this is the open source tools for a software as a service. Thank you.